Hey, research update. I think I talked about this a bit before, but the gist of it is that something I've been really reconsidering is career stuff. I actually don't know why, but I think it's just important every once in a while to say, okay, it's really cool you're committed to everything you're doing, but let's make sure you're on the right path. And I think that's something I've been thinking about for a while now, especially when it comes to what I want to do, like the general idea. I want to go into research, I want to get my PhD, but I also want to work in industry. I also want to build my own business, my own enterprise, right? And I think the issue with that, my fear is that getting a PhD is no easy feat. It's like after undergrad, it's like an extra 4 years, right? So in those 4 years, what if it's like, okay, I'm waiting for myself to finish a PhD before I build my own startup or whatever. So what if I'm wasting that time? Like, why not just do startup before? Like, why am I doing the PhD? I think that's the question I have to keep on asking myself. But I think so for my limited time in research, which has been very few, if I'm being honest, I really loved it. It's so fun. It's so exciting. I think it engages me in a way I didn't know I could be engaged. It's just like a fun thing because you're constantly learning. I think that's something about me as a person. Is that I just love to learn, especially in classrooms and whatnot. I think just learning as like something you do daily is so exciting. But another issue is that it's not very and this may sound wrong, but it's not very lucrative. I think from the salaries I was looking at, unless you do like some collaboration with a big lab or like Google OpenAI, which I guess would be the plan, but still, that's something I have to think about logistically. Because it's not just a matter of okay, I like to do this, I like to do that. It's like okay, I start to pay bills, I start to build my own future, I start to support my family and all that. So I think that's the reason I've really been reconsidering how I go about this. But why I haven't figured out all the answers. I'm still taking it step by step. One thing I have um, more so decided on is when it comes to research stuff. I think I'm going to shift away from explainable. I'm still going to keep on my eye on that because I do think it's a very promising field. But there's a lab that seems, from my conversation earlier this week, there's a lab. It's called the Gamma Lab at UMD, and they basically have a bunch of people. So I want to try and get employed by that lab and work in their multi-agentic systems. I think multi-agentic systems are just really cool for various purposes because it can be applied to various domains, whether it's gaming or simulations. I think simulations is really cool because, like, if let's say you want to plan a crisis management system, right? You could use a multi-agentic system to predict how people would respond to an earthquake, a fire, stuff like that. And then that could be really cool for games. You can obviously think about how multi-agentic systems could work for games, for predictions. I think simulations is one of the ones I'm really interested in. But I'm also interested in just having multi-agentic systems do stuff like so. Let's say, for example, Quest. Quest was basically meant to be an app that I still want to do, where you basically have an app that helps you chase your ambitions and create you into that person. So you would have a agentic system that's doing a bunch of research, and it's not like it's a bunch of different entities doing a bunch of different tasks at the same time and collaborating with one another behind the scene. That's just something cool to me in general. I feel like the best way to explain the reason I'm excited about it is like building your own Avengers or your own team. So that's why I'm interested in multi-agency systems, and that's what I hope to do. So hopefully I can get employed by the Gamma Lab and go from there. Um, that's something I have to shoot an email. But I think the advice I got was usually shoot an email and wait a week, but I don't have that much time considering the comp sci applications I have to do by October. So I'm just gonna shoot an email to say, hey, I emailed you. So now that I go to you in person, at least I emailed you beforehand. So I'll find the appropriate people. Started already connecting with them on LinkedIn, finding more about them. Some of them are also connected with, which is really awesome. Some of the people actually looked at. I remember Halo was one I was looking at a while back. So I was like, oh wow, Halo was you guys. I didn't know that. But going to try and find them in person. They're all in one building. It's a matter of finding the right timing. For example, some of the professors I now know like oh what time they go to their office hours and all that. So I can like reach out to them. The issue though is a lot of them are really busy, like hour to hour, because they have a bunch of meetings as they're like so high up. So it's hard to like even go to interject and say, hey, my name is Chukudala, I love your research, all that. I remember I was trying to do that with Fruhan. I'm gonna say the name wrong, but I was trying to do that with this PhD or sorry postdoc. I think on Friday, but just didn't work no Thursday because she was on me like the whole day or the whole last couple of hours. So had to really find a way to work around that, but we'll find a way by God's grace, and hopefully I can get the job and move from there, multi-agentic systems, and continue to work hard. I think another thing before I end this video, another thing I have to work on is two things: LeetCode/LeetCode, and working on libraries or frameworks. I forgot which one was, but that was an advice I got when it comes to AI research. A lot of people are going to ask you what libraries you're familiar with, I think, or frameworks, and you just have to be able to go off like NumPy and all of that. So I think that's something I have to work on, because when I got asked, I was like, huh? I never actually thought about frameworks or libraries like that. I just use them when I need to use them. I never thought about being familiar with them, because like you use it for a certain purpose and you just do the next thing. But I guess you should be familiar with some. So I'm going to try looking at that and like try and implement some papers so I can improve my GitHub repository page portfolio. But besides that, I have nothing else to say. So have a great day.